Hi everyone, in this video I will walk you through how to build a fully interactive calendar visual in Power BI using a matrix table and a custom SVG image URL. This is the calendar we're going to build, and this calendar visual highlights the assessment days, style weekends. You can see the weekend is in a different color. It also supports month filter. You can filter this calendar by month and year. This calendar also shows the student performance tooltips. Okay, and this calendar is specifically designed for both students and parents. It's actually a very super interactive calendar. You can do this tutorial so that you will learn how to create this calendar. You can tweak it to your data sets. You can also tweak the visual to match what you are actually analyzing or the insights you want to get from this data set, from this visual. This calendar shows the date number. As you can see here, after it's been filtered to February 2023, the assessment days are highlighted to the colored circle. We cannot do this using the normal Power BI visual, but we can be able to do this using the SVG image URL. You can see already, as I mentioned, the weekends are styled different. Now, when you hover over any circle that is colored, you will see insight or performance insight of students. Okay, so the purpose of this calendar is to highlight assessment days for us using a colored circle. So to build this calendar, I'm going to use my school analysis data set, which I will be importing right now. So I have loaded my data set in, and let's check our model view to see if everything was connected properly. So we can see that our main table or our fact table is the performance, and every table there is being connected to the fact table. So this is the student ID, which is connected to the student ID here on the students table. Look at it here. Okay, then we have our teachers. We have our teachers table, which is connected. We have our subject table, which is also connected. Okay, we have our, scroll down. We have our date table, and we have our assessment table. Okay. Okay, so you can see that we have all the information we need here. I'm just going to remove this one. I'm just going to delete this particular connection and let everything get connected to the performance table. So to build our calendar table, just our calendar table, we will need, most importantly, the performance table and the date table, especially the date table. So I'm going to the table view. Go back to table view and select the date table. Okay, so on the date table now, we're going to make sure we sort all our columns properly, and then we'll put in additional columns. This date table was not created with a formula. It is part of the table. It is part of the data set. So we're just going to put in additional information that we need for our calendar table. It has almost everything except maybe 2 or 3 more columns. Okay, so first of all, I will need to sort some of these table columns out, like our month name and month short. So let me sort the month name. So select the month name column. Once you select it, go to sort by. I'm just going to expand this so you see it clearly. Go to sort by column and sort it by month. Sort it by the month number so that it will be arranged chronologically. It will be arranged January, February, March, April, May, instead of being arranged alphabetically. If you don't sort it properly like that, it will just be arranged alphabetically, and we do not want that. So once this is okay, I'm going to also go to my month shorts and do the same thing for it. So for my month shorts, select the month shorts and sort it again. Select the month short column, sort by column, and sort by months. Same month. This is the short form of the month. That means January, Jan, Feb, Feb. So this month's name is the full name, while this one is just the short name. Okay, so what else do we need? Any column you know you're going to use, make sure it is sorted by the number. If you're going to use quarter, please sort it by column, quarter number. Okay, so let's look at what else we'll need here. We need, for our calendar, we're going to need the week. We're also going to need the day of the week. We're going to use the day of the week name, but specifically, I would love to use day of the week short. That's the short name. So what do we sort it by? We're going to sort it by the day of the week. Okay, we're going to sort it by day of the week that appears 1 to 7, which is this one. So select your day of the week, sort by column, and sort by day of the week. Sorted it by this column. What other column do we need here? Let's wait for it. Good. Let's keep going. We have the day of the month, day of the year. Like basically, This is just it. Okay, so make sure that everything has been sorted properly. Once it's sorted out, let's add our additional columns. So the first column we're going to create will be to help us filter the months. We're going to create a column called year months. Just come here, create new column. Select new column. And then we're going to name this column year months. This column, what I want to do is to create a numeric sort key, okay, so that we can sort our months correctly in the time order. That's what I did, just like we sorted others by the numbers. So year month, I'm just going to name it year month. Date, we're going to sort it by the date year, okay. Let's look for date year here. Yeah, look at it here. Oh, sorry. Date year, comma. Sorry, date year, no comma. Date year times 100 plus date month. That is just it for the year month. Then you enter. Okay, so this creates value like probably 202302. You should just give us a value like that. So that is what we'll use as our sort key. We're going to use it to sort another column that we'll be creating right now. What I want is a column that will give me year and month together. Okay, so this is what we created newly. Let's create another new column for months and year right now. So I want a column that will give me month and year like February 2023, March 2025. That's what I mean. So set a new column, okay, and it's just going to be a very, very simple formula. Month year equal to format open bracket date, format date by date. Okay, so we're going to be using this formula, format date by date, comma, and double quotation mark, for months. That means it's going to be in short form. Remember, sorry, for months. It's just going to be in short form. Then YYY for year. And then double quotation and close your bracket. That is it. That's just it. So we'll have our two new columns right now. So let's wait for it to load as usual. So once it has loaded, what do we do next? We'll sort it by, we're going to sort the month year by the year month, okay? So sort by columns and sort by year month. Make sure you're highlighting the month year column and then sort it by year month. For the calendar layout, the matrix visual here is the backbone. So what we're going to do is to bring out our matrix table. Make sure you select your matrix table and then impute those figures. Okay, this is our matrix table here. I'm just going to drag it to the middle and improve it just to make it bigger so we can see what we're doing. Okay, so let's start putting in values or figures into our matrix table. Okay, so opening your data, take your day of the week, short name, day of the week. We're going to put it on our columns. Okay, we're going to put it on our columns. Then we're going to take our week column, look at it here, and put it on rows. So let's wait for our matrix visual to load. So we have a structure now. So the next thing we're going to do is to add values. And what we're going to be adding there is the SVG output column, which we've not created. We're going to be creating it now. So I'm just going to go back to table view and create it here with the date table. I'll be creating the SVG formula here together with the date table. It will be another column, a calculated column that will show the SVG output. Now, one thing you should know is that this SVG output of SVG formula is very, very large. It's very, very long. So I'll explain the key points from there. Then I'm going to provide a formula here in the document, which will be attached to this video. All you need to do is copy this formula and paste it. But do not be worried. I'm going to break the formula down and explain each part of the formula so that you understand how it works. I'm going to do this so that in case you need to make some certain changes, maybe increase font size, change the color of your calendar, you will know how to do that within the formula. Okay, so select new column again for it. Select new column. Now this is the fun part, and don't be worried, I'm just going to walk you through that one by one. I'll walk you through the logic. So for starters, this is the formula here on the screen. This is the full formula. It's not, this is just like a snapshot of the formula. So I'm just going to copy this formula and paste it, and then I'll explain it to you. So this is my formula. I'm just going to edit this out. Okay. So you can see how long this formula is, right? Fine. So what's the first thing I did? I started by pulling the day number. Look at the day number, var, day number. I hope you know what var means, variable. So the day number is here, is my dates table, day of month. And I have a day of month column in my date table. Okay, so you can see it here, say day of month. I also have day of week column in my date table. It's somewhere around here. Look at it, day of week. So I pulled these two columns. Okay, you can see the explanation here. That means day of month means where I see Monday is equal to 1, Sunday is equal to 7. That's your day of month and day of week. Now, the next thing I did was to check if this column, my performance table, has assessments. So that's why you see calculate, count rows, performance greater than 0. So if it's greater than 0, it means there's an assessment for that day. So it's only going to count the rows that have numbers greater than 0. That's what it means. I also detected the assessment days. I also detected today's date. So if I have a calendar, if my calendar is current, if it is merged to my dates, it automatically detects the day. It will show me that, okay, this is today. Okay, but you know, this data set was a downloaded data set and it's backdated, so it's not going to show me exactly to this dates, but I put it in so that in case you have a data set that is very, very, very current and will likely show you the particular day you were working, that's that exact date, you can, this formula will actually apply to it. But so let me just leave it there. We're still going to use it, so it's going to highlight a different color for me to show that particular date. Now, for my color rules, I have to circle fill it. It means only those days that have assessment days will be filled, will have a circle field, not square, just like the normal Power BI heat map is. You know, that one is just more like a heat map where we use different colors, color range, and almost in square fields. But this one now is a circle field, and to only fill those days that have assessments. That is what this particular formula does. So I've set my circle fill color. Look at it here. So it means if my date, that is, if my date is today, for instance, if your date is let's say 5th of January 2026, then it will orange fill it. It will pinpoint that date with an orange fill. But like I say, this particular table will not give you an orange fill because I don't have a current date. Okay, but now for my data set, I have dates that has assessment. So if my date has an assessment, give me a green fill. Give me a this is more like a blue fill, please, not green. So all you need to do is now put in the color code. If you do not like this color, you can change the color. Just copy the color code of the particular color you want to use for your circle fill and change it here. Pay attention. The only thing you're going to be deleting from here is the letters after 23. Do not delete 23. So if I'm changing my color code, I'm just going to be removing these ones. I'm leaving 23 and then pasting the new color code there. So if there is none, if there's no assessment, do not give me any fill. That is what this particular formula is talking about. Let me also explain why we're not deleting 23. That's 23 there. It is what we call the hex code. The hex code. Okay. The hex code is it must be there because that shows that this particular code is URL encoded for SVGs. So that's why we have hashtag 23 then followed by your color codes. You will notice this 23 in the other you will notice this 23 when we as we continue. It's always attached to the other codes that we're going to use. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to handle is here. The next thing this formula is going to show us is the day color. That means if my day is today and it has assessment, give me this F. That's, I mean, not the day color per se, is the text color. If the text color. So if field, our circle should have white text. You know, my field here is what? Blue. So if I'm filling a circle blue, I need a text color that will show the number. So I'm going to be using white as my contrasting text color. So if today has assessment, give me white color as my text field. If today is weekend, give me light orange. So all the weekends, which is Saturday, Sundays, numbers will have light orange. Okay. And these weekends are for those that don't have assessments. Because if my weekend has assessment, it will still give me white. That is why it is very, very important. Okay. It's very, very important too. So for my weekday numbers, the normal weekday numbers that don't have assessments, I'm just going to be using this particular color code for light gray. It's not going to be very, very dark anyway. Like I said, if you're not comfortable with the colors, you can easily come here and change it. So the next one here is my font size. If you are not comfortable with the font size, please, you can simply come here and change the font size. You cannot, once you've applied this SVG formula into your matrix table, you will not be able to easily um, edit or change the font size from the format pane. So that's why you need to come here and change it. Hopefully a time will come where Power BI will make all of this easy for us. But for now, we need to just, go around the corners to achieve what we want to achieve. So as you're changing the font size, you can also slightly change the Y position. We need to, slightly change it. You can slightly change it just to make sure that the number is right within in the middle of the circle. Okay, so every other thing here is the full URL encode, the full SVG markup. Okay, so I'm just going to, this is just the full SVG markup. Like I said, I'm just, going to paste this formula. All you need to do is just copy it and look at it. It's actually very, very simple. It's actually very simple. I'm also going to leave these explanations there in green so that you'll be able to understand it as you're using it. So once we're done with this, just select good and you're good to go. So remember the day of the month, day of the week, we're going to be using these columns. So let's wait for it to load. So it has loaded successfully. All we need to do now is to go back to our report view and add it to our matrix visual. So to add it to our matrix visual, all we need to do, go to data. Okay, go to data, look at that calendar SVG that we just created right now. So just carry this calendar SVG, drag it down to values here and leave it there. Just drag it to values and put it there, and then wait for it to load together with our table. Oh, sorry. Can you see what happened right now? That's why I just said sorry, because there's a very, very critical step we need to take to avoid this error. Very, very critical. And what step is that? Go back to your table view, go back to your calendar, your SVG column, just select it, make sure it is highlighted, and then come to data category. This step is very important, else you'll be having that error. Come to data category, open the drop down and select it as image URL. Select it as image URL. Very, very important. And wait for it to load. Make sure you have selected it as image URL, not web URL, image. Then go back to your report view. So what did you notice here? That is it. It has worked. This is what we have as our calendar visual. Now, the next thing we're going to do is to bring out our filter. Remember, we created two columns, which is the month year and the year month. So we're going to use a filter right now. Let's just bring out a filter here. So we're going to use this filter, this slicer. Just bring out a slicer. I think I need to fit this to page so we can see it clearly. So this is our slicer. Select your month year column that you created recently and drag it here to data. Good. So now we've had this. I'll just select a month. So let me select let's just select something like April 2024. So once you've selected your month slicer, you have your calendar table almost in shape. Your matrix table almost in shape. We're not yet done with this. We need to format this table to get it in the right shape, that we need. Okay, so this is our table. This is our table. So what are we going to do? We're going to, customize our formats, our matrix table. So come to filter, come to format, and then you turn off your column totals, your your rows of totals, turn it off. Columns of totals, turn it off. We don't need any of that. Okay. Column grand total, I don't think it's on, so we don't need any of that. Once you've done with that, this week column, I do not want it to be showing. I don't want it to show. But before you do that, because I want to kind of change the background of my canvas, so let me select this. Come to format, come to canvas background, come to color, select more colors, and then I'm just going to use maybe a color like this, a purple color, and reduce transparency. What I want to do is just to highlight the table so we can see it properly. Okay, reduce transparency and bring it to the middle. Then this week column, I don't want it to show. I don't want it to show. I just want it to look like a standard calendar. Okay, so that when you select different dates, it will just, align properly. Select different date. This is November 2024. Okay, so let's look at what can we do. Select your table. Select your matrix table. Come to format. Come to values. Let's start with values first. For me, I love to work from up to down. So let's start with values. If there's any information we need up there, we still need it. So my background color, I want it to be white. Alternate background, I want it to still remain white. Okay. For my grid, I do not want any grid. So I'm just going to come to all border, come to that grid color and change it to white. I don't want it there. Okay. Then let's keep going. What else do we need to change before we remove that week? Come to values. I think we've worked on this. It's okay. Come to column headers. I'm just going to make it bold a little, and then I'll reduce the text intensity of the black. I'll use a lighter black kind of for my column headers. And see that for my SVG, my Saturday, Sunday is orange as I want. If you don't want your orange to be this light, if you need a darker orange color, all you need to do is to what? Copy the code. Look at this code. Look at this code. Can you see it? E66, what? E66, E66, C37, E66, C37. So let's go to our assessment calendar. I think it's better I copy that code. E66, 637. And that is for fill, circle fill, which is this. No, sorry, for weekend fill, which is this. Let's see. I want it to just give me a darker shade of orange because it didn't contrast well with my white background. Okay, let's look at it again. E60, C37, then let's go. Working on it. Okay, let's look at our table. Good. Can you see that it's a more better contrast now? Okay, so what next do we need to do? Let's keep going down. Let's keep scrolling down. Let's keep scrolling. You can see we cannot change our text color. If I change my text color to blue, it's not going to work. It's not going to work because this is what an SVG encoded calendar. So if you want to change your text color, just change it from the SVG, the SVG formula. I've showed you how to do it. All you need to do is just change the numbers, change the color code, and you're good to go. They're very, very good to go. For my alignment, I'm going to use a middle alignment so that the numbers and the days will be aligned directly. The numbers will be aligned directly under the days, the column headers. So to remove my week, all I need to do is to come here to build. Look at where we have week. I'll just double tap it and delete it. I don't want it to show. Then I'll give a space, press my space key and then hit enter. It's gone. Then I still need to remove the numbers. Okay, so I'm just going to go to format now. For this one, the numbers are going to work if you change it in values. The only numbers that will not be changed are these ones that are inside. That's from 1 to 30, but these ones you can change it. So come to row headers and come to text color and just change it to white. Sorry. Here are my row headers. Text color should be white. Remove the banded row color off. I've already checked it to white. Remove the banded row color. Just put it off. Don't put it on. Okay, put it off. Text wrap, put it off. Actually, it won't really matter because it's just a number. Icons, put it off. Basically, I don't want anything about this thing to show here. Okay, so right now we have our calendar. Another thing I want to remove, come to size and style. Let's see if the background is on and turn it off. I don't really, okay, yeah, put it back on, please. I think that's okay. The background is okay. If you want to change the background to a different color, you can do that. Like I said, it all depends on what you are, what you are building. All depends on what you are building. So let's fit this to screen. Right now, our calendar is large. Normally, if I'm going to build a visual, a dashboard, you'll see that this calendar will occupy most of the screen. I don't want it that way. I don't want it that way. If I'm actually going to build a visual, that's a dashboard with this, my calendar will just stay by the parts of the screen, like the right-hand side of the screen like this. But if it stays that way, using this size, we're not going to achieve it's just going to take up all the space on the dashboard. So I'm just going to scroll down to image size and reduce the size of my dashboard from here. So as you are reducing, the dashboard will be, sorry, as you are reducing it, the size of the calendar will reduce. So you can change it to the size you want it to be. Let me put it at 50 and see what we have. If you're not okay with the size, you can easily change. You can just change the size. That's just it. And then put it here. Okay, put it here. The next thing I want to do is to check the borders. So come to size and style. I'm just going to check the borders and make it a rounded border. Come to visual border, turn it on. Open your visual border and make your rounded corner. I'm just going to use it, make 10 as my rounded corner. And then open this a little. So this is what we have. Okay, I think 10 is, I'm just going to make it a little bit more rounded. Yeah, I think we're getting somewhere. So this is how you build your visual. You can make it more beautiful. You can add more items. You can just actually make it more beautiful, okay, than it is. So remember, we're still going to build our tooltip. So stay with me as we build our tooltips. But before we do that, I just want to make this dashboard look a little bit more beautiful. So I created a shape on Figma, and I'm just going to import this shape into image here as an image. And please, while importing, make sure that if you want to create a shape outside, make sure you are creating the right measurements. Make sure that you've already resized your visual so that when you're importing the shape or when you're creating the shape, you're using this exact size, type of width, or the length you want it to be. Okay, so you select your image, this pop-up box will come in, then we'll come to our visual border, we'll come to our format image and import our image from there. So close your size and style, come to style, select image, select browse. You're going to click upload image, select browse. And I'm just going to use this rectangle 3. Okay, let's try our rectangle 3. So you can see that I actually had other rectangles that I created there. Once you upload your image, all you need to do is just to expand it so it to fit in properly on top of your calendar. So I just want to use this and create a little design here. Just put this, stretch it out. Just stretch it out a little bit that way. I'm then going to take my calendar and move it on top. Good. So come to formats, come to bring forward. Make sure you have selected the calendar itself. Come to bring to front. Once you've selected bring to front, you are good to go. But I still want to go to image and reduce the size of this calendar further. I'll just reduce it to probably 45. Good. And reduce it further, just a little bit, give it a little bit of shape. Once that is done, it's looking a little bit good. I'll still bring in another shape. I want to bring in another shape or image I created in Figma. I'll be attaching these shapes to the document I'll be sharing. so that all you need to do is just go to the folder and download everything you need for this. You can also create these shapes right here in Power BI. I'm going to show you how to do that if you can't do it. But all I did was I created a linear kind of shape in Figma. I just wanted to make it look a little bit like a UI interface. So upload image, come to browse. And I'm going to copy these two shapes, this ellipse 1 and ellipse 3. They are different shades. So I'll just take in the first one first. And then when that is done, I'll copy it, Control C, Control V. I'll just duplicate it. And for the second duplicate, I'll just change from ellipse 1 and bring in the second one. I'll bring in the second shape. That's ellipse 3. There's nothing much to do here. I just want to use this to, kind of decorate. So I'll just reduce the size a little, bring it here, just to give the header here, a little bit of design, nothing much. Just to give it a little bit of design, just to make it look a little bit good, not just flat. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is to take my Montier and put it in a card. I'm just going to open up my build, bring out the normal card visual, select my data. Once you select your data, go to date, select Montier and drag it in here. So this is a card that will just show me the month and the year visual. That's just all I need. So November 2024 Montier. So we're going to format this card, come to color value. I'm going to be using Cobel right now. I think I've not formatted everything. So I'll use Cobel. I'll turn off the category label for my color value. I'm going to also turn it white or a little bit darker, like light gray. Come to size and style, turn off your background. I just don't want to see anything there. Then come here and drag it here and put it. So whenever you select a date, it will change automatically. So like I said, I'm just trying to show you how you can build this. Whenever you select any date from here, like for instance, we've selected November 2024. Let's select January 2025. It will also change here. Can you see that? So that's what we want to do. So for your slicer, you can just simply change the slicer style. You can change it from vertical lace to drop down or whatever slicer style you want to change it to. There are a lot of options here. Depending on how you want your dashboard to look like, the format you want to look at your chart placement, you can then choose to move your slicer wherever you want to, provided it is clearly accessible. Okay, you can put your slicer. So I'm just going to place it here. I'm just going to also change the color. I'm just going to change the background color too. I'll pick the color on my screen, this dark purple, and make it a lighter purple. Okay, just pick the dark purple, come to background, more colors, and then paste it. Okay, that's what I want to do, but I want to make it a bit lighter so that there will be a little bit of contrast within the two, the background and the slicer. So let me use a lighter shade. Can use a lighter shade. Okay, once that is done, I'll come to my size and style, turn off the background. I'll also be turning off the slicer header. I don't want that. Then for my title and for my values, I want to change it to white, the font color to white. Good. So now we've created this. We have our slicer. Remember, you select the month. Once you select the month, it's just going to show in there. So let's select January 2025. Good, and to show. So that is how we build our calendar. But we are not done yet. I want to show a tooltip. I want my tooltip to show, or I don't like what this is showing. Okay, so I want a tooltip that I need to add two tips. So when someone hovers over a day, I want them to see meaningful information like the totals, the pass rates, and the top students. Okay, so I'm going to create a two-tip page. But before I do that, on this particular page, I have to select the calendar first. Select the calendar visual, come to properties, come to tooltips, and turn it on. Okay, come or expand this, and then you click on reports page. Before you click on report page, let's create a separate page for our tooltip. Separate page for our tooltip. So this is page 2. This is a blank canvas. How do we change this to a tooltip page? Come to page information, sorry. Come to name of page. Just change the name of page to tooltip. And then under page type, you select tooltip. So let me expand my tooltip page so that we can look at it clearly. I'm just expanding it. Okay, so we're going to be putting in our visuals in here. So to create my formulas that I'll be using here, I'll just have to create a new table. I'm just going to create a new table where I can put in this formula. So I'll click on enter data on my home tab, select enter data, where we're just going to create like a different table where it's going to serve like a folder, where all your formulas will be entered. So I don't want to scatter these formulas everywhere within these tables. I just want a separate place where these formulas will be. So I'm just going to name this table DAX formulas and load it. It will then show here. Now that has loaded successfully here, look at the DAX column we put in. We're going to start creating our new measures and putting it all in there. The first measure we're going to create is the total score. So we want to create a measure to show the total scores of all students, the overall total score. We're going to use that. So let's right click, select new measure, and then wait for it to load. We're going to put it in here. So we're going to say total score equal to, this one is quite simple, sum, as sum scores. The scores is from performance table. So just select it, sum score, and then close it. Once you've closed it, just commit. So the next formula we're going to calculate is the total assessment. So right click again, select your new measure, and then we're going to put in total assessment equal to count rows. We're going to be counting the performance table. It's the performance table that has the record of all the assessments. So we're going to count in each record as one assessment that have been taken. So that will enable us to know how many assessments that have been taken in total all through the years. So count rows performance. Once we're done with this, the next formula we're going to create is the percentage of students that have passed. So come again, right click, select new measure. So before we calculate the percentage of students that have passed, we have to calculate a pass count. The pass count is to know how many students that actually passed before we calculate the percentage. So say calculate, calculate. What are we calculating? Open bracket, count rows, open bracket, performance, of course the performance table, close bracket, comma, then performance again, pass cost. The performance table passed, looking for pass cost, yes, and then equal to the pass cost column has passed and failed. So we want to count only items that are passed in there. So equal to passed, and then close it. So make sure you use a double quotation mark, not one quotation. Make sure you use a double quotation mark. It should show red, that means you're correct. If it shows red, then close it up and press good. You have calculated your pass count. Once that is done, you create another new measure to calculate your percentage of passed students. So right click again, select new measure, and then delete this measure. Percentage of passed is equal to divide, using the divide formula, divide pass count by total assessment, then close your bracket and enter. So we have our percentage of pass now, we have our pass count, we have our total assessment, and we have our total score. So I also need to calculate the average score. So right click, new measure, we're going to be calculating the average score. And let it load. So now that we have everything we need, let's start building our tooltip table. The first thing I'm going to bring in is a card that will show me the total students, total assessment, and percentage passed. So I'm just going to put this here by the side, just minimize it by the side here, it's okay. And then come to performance, take your student ID and put it here. And then instead of first student, select this drop down arrow, come to first and select count distance. So it will tell me count of students is what, 50. So all I need to do here is to come in here and change it to, or instead you can just leave it there. We're going to change it to now our format tab. So come to format tab and off the category label, turn on your title and name your title total students. Total students. And I'm going to using Corbel again. Reduce the size of your title, total students, reduce it to 10, centralize it, expand it a little, then come to your what do you call it, color value, increase your color value a little, and I'm also going to be using Corbel as my font type style. I'm also going to be changing the color to, let's look at this color, to pink and make it bold. Okay, let's remove the bold and then let's just increase it to 50. Let's go down a little bit and check if there are other calculations we need to make here. Come to title, spacing. I want to reduce the spacing. Good. So once I'm done with total students, okay, for my total students, I'm just going to change the background. Not really the background, the font color. Just make it a little bit lighter, not too dark. So I'm just going to change the background color of my canvas to ice blue. Come to more colors, paste it here, and then come to transparency and reduce it. I'll be doing the same for my cards later on, but first of all, copy your cards and duplicate it. So once you're done with this, highlight all of them just to make sure they are still properly aligned. Alignment is very, very important here. So align it to the top, and then after aligning to the top, also distribute horizontally. Good, so that looks good. So let's select our total students now. We're going to, instead of total students, what we're going to be putting there is our total assessment. So instead of count of students, I'm just going to remove it here. Come to our DAX where we calculated total assessment, drag it and put in here. Then remember we're going to change the title to total assessment. It's not going to be total students anymore. Assessment. So for the next one, we're going to using our percentage of what do you call it, past students. So instead of student ID, we're just going to come to DAX here, select percentage of past. That's all you need. So for here, we're going to also change it to percentage past and then enter. So you can see it's giving us 0.79 and I want this to be as in a percentage format. So select that column, your past calculation, that's the calculated measure. So select the percentage pass and then come to your formatting and select the percentage sign. Sorry. Good. And I want to reduce the decimal point to 0. So we have our total students, total assessment, and percentage passed. Okay. So once that is done, next thing I'm going to do is to bring in a shape because I'm just going to put a table beneath it. So I'm going to insert a shape. At this point, I'm just trying to decorate, making a rectangle shape to serve as our card holder. Let's drag it up. So once that is covered, come here to size and style, turn off, okay, background is turned off already. Come to style, shape style, come to border, fill first of all. We're going to change the fill color to ice blue. Still want to use the same ice blue. We're going to turn off the border. We're going to turn on the shadow. And for the shadow, I'll be using the, just going to be using a very light blue. So let me select the ice blue. Select your ice blue first. I want to use for something very close to it. Come to more colors. I think this is okay. Then position should just be bottom. Just give me bottom. Then I'm going to reduce the blur. Okay, please increase the blur a little. Reduce the transparency. Increase the transparency a little. Reduce blur instead. Reduce the blur. So you can see what we have here. So once you're done with this, the next thing I'm going to do is to change the my border is off already. So I'm just going to change, I'm going to change the shape style. So come to shapes, under your rounded corners, make it a bit rounded like this, not too much, just a little bit. Yeah, so I just wanted to have this shape underneath it. So let me put it to 10 or 11. So this looks good. So you can see our shape makes sense now. So select this shape and send it to the back. Select the shape again, come to format. Once you're done formatting the shape, send to back, not send backwards. Send to back and you're good to go. Now that we've sent the shapes to back, I'm now just going to edit my cards and change the color of the background to the ice blue background. I just wanted to have the same color. So select ice blue for this, come here, ice blue. So format painter, you can still do format painter and then paste the formatting for this. Ice blue. Okay, so next thing we're going to create now is our table. So bring in your table, not the matrix table this time around, the normal table. Bring it in. Now we brought in our table. I'm just going to resize this and adjust it so that it don't overshadow the other visuals I have. I'm just going to be using my table here and putting it under here. So my table is just going to contain three simple information: the student image, the student ID, and their average scores. So that's what I'm going to just use to populate this table. But before we do that, I'm just going to go to table view, go to students. Once you select student, under direct image URL, make sure you select it, and then come to sort, come to data category, sorry, change it as, make sure you select image URL, not uncategorized. If you don't select this and set it as an image URL, it will not generate your images. You will not see your image. So make sure you set it as image URL. As you're working, be saving your work so that you don't lose it in case you have a laptop that crashes while working. So it's always very important that as you're working, you're saving. So let's go back to report view. Like I said, the first thing we're going to get is the, come to your students, open up your students, select the direct image and put it here. Then we're going to also collect the student ID, which is in the performance table. You can use also the student name if you want to, which is Ava. This is the first name, but let's put in the full name and see. But personally, I prefer to use the student ID, but let's see. Ava Jones, and then we're going to put in the average score, which will also be split according. So we have Ava Jones, full name, average score. So we have other names there, you can see them. So this is not the other names there. All the students will be shown fully here. All the students will be shown fully here. So what do? I'll come to my format, select the table, come to formats. They're going to turn off the column totals. So turn it off. We don't want the totals. That's underneath this. We're also going to filter this item. For direct image URL, before we filter, I'm just going to double click and delete this right up. I don't want it there. And then, because you know you cannot leave that space empty, so just enter a space, pressing your space key, and then click enter. Okay, and it goes. The full name, instead of putting full name, I'm just going to use name, and then average score, we'll leave it at that. So once you're done with that, you enter and to change here. So once that is done, I'm going to, you know, we have our name, we have our average score, and we have the students. We're still going to format this. So before we format, I would love to filter this table by the top three. So just by top two rather. So I'm just going to come to name, to the first, no, let's use, should we use name? Okay, let's use the first one, which is the image basic filtering. Want to basic filter it by, want to filter by top 10, top end, which is top 2. And what do we want to filter this by? Want to filter it by the average score. That is those that have the highest average. The top 2 will appear here. So we now have our top 2. I have our top two. Once we're done with that, let's go back to formatting. So open up your format table. Come in here to image size. We're still going to remove the image size so it will fit in nicely with our image. So I'll set the image size to 45. Okay, let me reduce it further. Sorry. So I've reduced my image size further to 40 so that it will show very nicely. So all I need to do is just a little bit of formatting here. Just drag it up a little. Then come to value. Let's start with the grid. I want my horizontal to show, which is okay. Come to border here. I don't want the border to be blue, bright blue. I'm just going to change the border to another color. Okay, so this looks good. I'm still going to go down. So scroll down to change the border color from blue. We're just going to use one of these colors we used earlier on. Let's look at this. So let's just use this. We're going to use this color. We've selected the color to use, which is this, and then the width is okay. You don't need to reduce it, just leave it at 1, and then come down to row padding. I'm just going to put my row padding to 2, so there'll be a little bit space between that line and the headers. Then come to values, select your values. I'm not going to use the font size. I'm going to use Cobel, not Sajo UI. I'm going to change the text color to this lighter dark, not so dark, and then I'm going to change the background color to ice blue. For the column header, we're not done with you. Come down again to values, then come to your column headers. For your column headers, we're going to change the background color not to ice blue, but select ice blue first. Then we're going to just use it to get a lighter okay, hold on. You know what, just leave it at ice blue, leave everything at ice blue, then come to size and style, turn off your background. Okay, so I just wanted to create something like this, a little bit like this. We're not done with this table. Select your table. I want to add shadows to this table. I want to add shadows. So come to size and style, scroll down to where you have shadows, turn it on. I'm going to make my shadow just similar to what I did to the other one, then bottom. Just want to create it like that. No visual border, just it. So it will have a feel to it. I just want to create a feel to it. Then select the table. I want the borders too. I want to change the borders. I don't want it to have this sharp edged border. So come to visual border, turn it on. For the border, I'm just going to use the exact same color, ice blue, so it will not show any line. And then I'm going to change the rounded corners. Just increase it to 9 or 10. Let's reduce it. Let's see. Okay, let's see how it looks with 5. Okay, it looks a little bit okay. So drag it in the middle. Okay, so let's make sure we change our values to specific column to align it properly. So come to where you have specific column, still under the formatting. Scroll down, apply to series. Let's start with the name. I want to apply to header, and then I want to centralize. Okay, then come to average score. Average score, apply to headers, and then centralize. I just want to centralize it. Then for this, I'm just going to leave it empty. I don't need to change anything. But the only thing I'm going to change is to come to the image and then apply to values. Just shift it here. So it looks good. Should good. Okay, let me centralize it and see. Okay, so this looks fine. This looks fine. Let's come back to our style and setting. Come down to your border. Just want to make it a little bit more rounded. Just reduce it to 7. And then I'll come to image size. Okay, I just don't want that scrolling line to show because it's just two names. I don't really need that scrolling line there. So this is it. We've created our tooltip page. I can then minimize it to the normal fit to page so you see how it looks like normally. Sorry, not fit to page. Reduce it to 100%. So it will be the exact page size. So this is how your tooltip looks like with your table beneath it. Now for your tutor assessment and tutor students, I'm just going to, there's something I missed out. There's something I missed out. Let's start with this first. For color value, I'll choose blue. I'll choose bold. I'll format painter. Do the same for this. Format painter again. Select format painter again. Do the same for, select from our painter, please. Come and do the same for the last card. I want to make it bold. Then for my table view, if you like it like this, fine and good. But me, I would love to make the values bold just to highlight it. I want to highlight the name, so I'll just change it to bold. Okay, so this is what we're talking about. Then for the header, I'm going to use the same color I used for the previous header for this header. So come to your values, scroll down. We're going to work on the column header. For the text color, I'm just going to use very light shade, just like I used in the previous one. Okay, and then change the font type to Corbel. I just want to use the same font type. Make sure that everything is uniform. So once you're done with your tooltip page, let's go back to our page 1 where our calendar is. Fit to page. Good. This is our calendar now. You can see that it is not yet working. You can see that it's not yet working. So what do? Come back, select the calendar now. You're still going back to properties where we wanted to set our tooltip. Open it up, select report page. That's what we're working on. Report page, and select the page. Open the drop down and select tooltip, which is a tooltip page you created. Once that is done, it will automatically start working. So let's put in our hover here and see what we'll have. Good. Can you see? And it changes according to the days you selected. It will always change according to the selected days. And then for other days that don't have assessment, it will give you blanks. It will give you blanks, okay? No information, no assessment. So there's a formula you can use so that instead of showing you blanks, it will just tell you no assessment for this day, no assessment for this day. So that is how we create our calendar visual. That's how we created our calendar visual. You can tweak this, like I said, change it in a way that you like, the way that fits your visual, the way that fits your aesthetics, make it look as good as you want it to look. This is just a sample. You can do a lot of things to this to make it even more beautiful. Like I mentioned earlier, whenever you're aligning your dashboard, you can place it in a space where it will actually make meaning. You can even put additional tooltips, additional information based on what you want to display from this particular calendar. So you can see it looks very good. It has this aesthetic feel, okay, and it's actually valuable. You can get insight from it, which is the most important part of any visual. What question, what problem can this calendar solve? That is what you should ask yourself before you use any particular visual. Ask yourself, what problem does this visual solve for me? Don't just use a visual just because it is beautiful or colorful. Use a visual because you can actually use it to impart knowledge. You can use it to send out an information, the right information to the people who are viewing your reports. So this is how you create this calendar built with SVG. Just follow the steps, go back, rewatch, and if you found this particular video helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel, as I'll be dropping information regularly for you. So thank you and have a nice day.